Hi everyone, Annette Kessler here with a new card in the 12 cards of Christmas 2020 series, and today we are making a really cool triple cube pop-up card. As always, you can pre-cut all your papers and join me in this video. All the instructions and measurements that you need are in the cutting guide that you can download from the link in the description under the video. So we have here our basic pieces. We have 3 pieces for the base that we're going to score. We're going to score all of the pieces the same way. So we're going to score at 2 3/4, 5 1/2, 8 1/4, and 11. And we're going to score it the same way for all of the 3 bases. So let's do that again. 2 3/4, 5 1/2, 8 1/4, and 11. Again, you have all the instructions, written instructions, and the measurements in the cutting guide that you can download from the link in the description under the video. So I'm going to score the other base, the same numbers, 2 3/4, 5 1/2, 8 1/4, and 11. And now for our third piece, we have 3 pieces for the base of the card. So we're going to score that the same way. And then we're going to go ahead and fold all of our pieces that we've scored. It's actually a pretty easy card to make. Looks really amazing, but it's easier than you think. So we have here our panels that we're going to cover the base with. So I'm using 2 colors of panels. Everything's going to make sense in a few seconds. You're going to see how you're going to assemble all of these panels. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to create the cover panels from 2 basically different papers. One is a solid color and the other is pattern paper. So this will look really nice on my card. So I'm basically attaching them together. It's going to be much easier this way to cover the card because the card is going to be 3D. So we want to make sure that we prepare everything in advance, and then once that's ready, we can go ahead and attach it to the panels of the card. So I'm going to have all these squares. So that's square number 4, and then square number 5, and then we can go ahead and do the last square. So we're going to have 6 squares. These are going to go in the front of the card, and then we're going to have some more panels, some more squares that are going to go on the inside. Everything's going to make sense in a minute. So we have 1 large piece and 2 smaller pieces. As you can see, we've scored all 3 of them. And now we can go ahead and fold them. We're folding all papers in the same direction. So go ahead and fold all the score lines that you made in the same direction. No accordion shapes here or something like that. And then once you've done with the folding, you see that little tab at the end, the smaller tab. We're going to apply glue on this tab and then attach. You can go ahead and trim the corners from this little tab if you want. This is optional, you don't have to do it. I like to do it, it looks nicer this way, but it's completely up to you. And then you attach the edge of the paper to the tab, basically creating a cube or a 3D square like this. So we're going to do that with the other piece, which is in the same size. We're going to fold on all of the score lines and attach the edge to that little panel. Again, if you want to trim the corners of the panel, it's up to you. You don't have to. So apply the glue to this little tab here. And then attach the edge. So we have two little cubes like this. And for our third piece, we're going to do exactly the same thing. Fold on all the score lines, and we're going to have a little tab at the end that we're going to attach the edge to. So this is going to be the back side of the card. As you can see, it's taller. We're going to attach the two little cubes to this larger cube. Apply glue and then attach it to the edge. So now we basically have 3 cubes, and we are ready to assemble the card. So this is the larger one. You can see that on the inside, make sure that the connected tab is on the back side, as well as for these 2 little cubes, because we don't want to see that. And now flatten the little cubes, and then we're going to apply glue to the back side of the bottom square, and then attach it to the front of the larger folded piece. And we're going to do the exact same thing with the second piece. So you can see how it looks. This is how it's going to look when it's in an envelope, when it's flat. But then when you take it out and spread it, you have a triple cube 3D card, which looks really cool, like this. That's why we wanted the place where we connected the 2 edges of paper to be on the back side, so it will look nicer. Now we can go ahead and attach the cover papers. We're going to start with the front of the card first and attach the 6 squares that we prepared earlier. And again, I remind you that you have all the measurements and the instructions in the cutting guide that you can download from the link in the description under the video. You just download the guide and then print it, and then you can go ahead and cut all these squares in advance, all the pieces in advance, and then go along, follow the video to make the card. So let's attach all the squares. And then we can go ahead and attach the squares to the inside of the card as well. So I'm bringing those in. So you see that the inside of the card is dark green, and I'm going to cover the inside of the card with lighter color of green. So there will be some contrast, but I don't want to cover it with another pattern paper because that will make the card a little bit too noisy for me. So the inside of the card, I'm only using solid color paper. So I'm attaching the first 2 squares to the bottom of the little squares, the little cubes, and then the other 2 squares are going to go on the wall of the cube, on the inside wall, and then those little 2 squares are basically one square, but I was unfortunately left with no papers. So what I did is simply cut 2 squares, and now I'm attaching them one next to the other as if they were one larger square. So that's what you have to do if you don't have enough paper. So the next 2 squares are going to go on the top of the larger cube. So when the card stands up, you're going to see the inside of the top cube. So that's why I'm covering that as well. And when you attach the cover paper, just align them with all the fold lines to make sure they're in the center. So this is how it looks. See? Looks really cool. Like this. Just gonna straighten everything. That's why I like to use liquid glue, because I can still wiggle the paper into place if I need to. Now I have a little strip of paper here, because I'm going to add a little strip in the center of the card. Just want to add a little bit of color and hide the line that I created by attaching the 2 pieces of paper, since I didn't have enough paper to use a larger square, remember? So I'm just putting a red strip of paper to hide that and add a little bit of red color towards the inside of the card. That's just a design thing that I did. See? That's how it looks. So you won't see that that green square inside is basically 2 squares. So I have here a sticker that I'm attaching to a white paper, because I need to eliminate the stickiness in the back. So this way I basically have a cutout with a sentiment on it, or with a sentence that won't stick to my card. If you have a cutout that is not a sticker, you can go ahead and use that. So I'm taking a piece, 2 pieces of white cardstock, and what I'm going to do is create sort of a little pop-up mechanism. I'm going to fold each of the strips in half, like this. This is an optional part of the card. It's just a design thing if you want to add it. And then these are going to go on the inside of the card, while the folded edge is aligned with the edge of the little 3D square. It's going to make sense in a second. So I'm applying glue to the back side of the folded white strip, and then I'm just going to attach it on the inside of the cube, while the folded edge aligns with the edge of the cube, like this. Or basically it also aligns with the center fold line of the larger cube. So this is where I'm going to attach it. The fold line is in the center, yeah? And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the other folded white strip. And again, the folded edge is aligned with the edge of the little cube and the center fold line of the larger cube. So it's going to meet the other white strip like this. I'm going to straighten that. See, this is how it looks. And then I'm going to apply glue on the front of the 2 white strips and attach that little sticker like this. You need to put your hands inside there to make sure it's straight. And then when you open the card, this thing stands up like this, you see? This is a really cool card. So it's easy to mail it in an envelope, and then when somebody receives it, they can put it on a shelf or on the mantle or whatever they want, and it looks really fun and cool. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video so you won't miss anything. You can find all the 12 cards of Christmas video tutorials in the playlist. All 12 cards are there, so they'll be easier to find and you won't have to look for them. And I really hope you like this video and you'll make the card. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.